All right, class. Welcome to my newest video. This one's on the WebSAM overview and my policies around the WebSAM and final exam. So let's see. High level, what is the WebSAM? And I've talked about this a handful of times in class. It is the state created and mandated end of course test for any career tech education. So criminal justice, business, web design, all the engineering classes, etc., all have a WebSAM at the end of that class. In our case, in engineering, it's a 40 multiple choice questions. Um, you can take the test twice during a school year, but must have at least 30 days between attempts. And the reason for this is it's the exact same 40 questions every time you take the test, but they are in a randomized order. So it's not identical in the order, but it is the same 40 questions. So that's why they make you take at least 30 days between attempts. So if you don't do so well the first time in March when we're taking it, you can take it again late April, early May, and we will work in between the two tests to help you improve your score. But again, you can take it only twice. You got to have 30 days between the two. Um, I know I've probably mentioned this at least once. I don't know if I've mentioned it in all classes. This is something that I learned midway through the school year. If you pass this class, and that goes for both Intro to Engineering Design and Principles of Engineering, with a B or better, you score proficient or better on the WebSAM. And when you take the WebSAM, there's a checkbox that at the very beginning that grants permission for colleges to review your scores. You can actually get college credit through the program that's called CTAG, CTAG, for the corresponding college level course. So for like Intro to Engineering Design, if you decide you want to go to a college to be an engineer, you do not have to take Computer Aided Drafting 1, because it's essentially what you're taking right now. So probably why the class is a little bit harder than some of you expected, but that's because it's designed to take the place of a college level CAD class. You can also look up on the state of Ohio. It'll tell you what each of the engineering classes, and even if you decide engineering is not for you, but you decide to take another one of the Butler Tech classes, you can look to see if it's a CTAG class and what college credit that will correspond to. As far as scoring for the exam, there's 3 levels of scoring: advanced, proficient, and not proficient. Every year it changes up a little bit. Every test is a little bit differently, but it just so happens that last year for both of the tests, design and principles, they had the exact same scores. So advanced last year was 90% and above, which breaks down to 36 out of 40 correct. Proficient was 65% and above, which ended up being 26 out of 40. And not proficient was anything below 65%. So sounds relatively easy. This is how Colerain engineering students scored last year. So intro to design, we had a total of 132 test takers. The average score was 65.1%. So barely in the proficient range. We had a total of 3 test takers score advanced and 70 scored proficient. So 73 out of 132 got above proficient or above. So a little bit better than 50%. Still had quite a few not proficient test takers. On the principal side, we had 32 test takers. The average score was only 53.8%. We had 1 advanced and 10 proficient, so 11 out of 32. So roughly 33% of the students passed the test. Now, we've done some things that are different this year. Obviously, there's now a new engineering teacher, who has an engineering background, unlike previous year where we had a math teacher who came over to teach engineering for a year, and they're no longer here. Not necessarily because of the test score, just they moved on to do something different with their life. I've taken a lot of time learning what is on the WebXam, trying to tailor what I teach you to do better on the score than what was done last year. So we've already been doing a couple of GIM kits. Fourth bell, we did a Jeopardy game with some very close to the WebXam questions, and y'all did pretty good. So you all will see these questions a couple more times that are very similar to the actual WebXam. So by the time you take it the first time, if you've been paying attention and you've been learning from what you're getting wrong, you should do very well. So moving on to my policies. So with the first attempt, this will count as a test grade. So the percent you get on the WebXam is your test score, with the exception of if you get advanced, which is that 90% or above, I will bump that test score up to 100%. Along with that, you'll be exempt from having to do the second attempt because you've already scored advanced. It's the highest you can get. And you will not have to take the final exam in my class. What that means is for both of those grades, the second attempt and the final exam in my class, you will automatically get 100%. So if you get advanced, automatically get 100 on all three: first attempt, second attempt, and final exam. So a lot of incentive to pay attention, do a little bit better, learn from the questions you're getting wrong as we're doing the GIM kits, the Ed puzzles, the Jeopardies, etc. So that way, when you take this officially, you can get that score and not have to worry about the second attempt or even the final exam in my class. Now, on the first attempt, if you get below advanced, it's not a big deal. That just means you're going to have to take the second attempt after the 30-day waiting period. Now, on the second attempt, again, that's going to count as a test grade. So both of these will be fourth quarter grades. So you're going to end up with 2 tests grades this quarter for the WebXam. If on the second attempt you happen to up your score into the advanced level, 90% or above, I will change your first test grade and your second test grade both to 100% and exempt you from the final exam. So whether you get advanced on the first or second attempt, you'll end up with 100% scores for all 3 grades: first attempt, second attempt, and final exam. So again, huge incentive to do as well as you can the first time. If not, take it serious, figure out where you went wrong, pay attention during the reviews. So that way, the second go around, you can get that advanced score. Now, if you only happen to get proficient, again, nothing wrong with that. I will exempt you from the final exam. And the average of your 2 WebXam attempts will be your final exam grade if you so choose. So say you happen to get, a 68 and a 70 on the 2 WebXams. For the final exam, I can exempt you. You'll get the average of the 2. 68 and 70 happens to be a 69%. And you can take that for your final exam grade. Or you can take the final exam, which, to be honest, will probably be something very similar to the WebXam. So best to just get it advanced or as close to as possible the first 2 times. If you happen to get not proficient both times, first attempt and second attempt, you will have to take the final exam in this class. There's not going to be any sort of exempt policy for getting not proficient. So do what you can. You've seen these questions quite a few times. We've done a lot of review. We'll be doing a lot more review between now and the first attempt, between the first attempt and the second attempt. So there really should not be a reason for getting not proficient. If you start to struggle, I've got office hours Tuesdays and Thursdays after school. You can send me an email. We can work on whatever you need during sixth bell, which is my plan bell. Or we can set up stuff for you to work on homework or even during class. So if there's something specifically that you're struggling with, uh, let me know. I'm open to any form of communication. You can send me an email. You can come and just talk to me. Uh, Whatever works for you. So again, at the end of the day, no real reason to get not proficient. Um, yeah, that is the end of my policies. So thanks for watching this, uh, and enjoy the rest of the week. There will be additional ed puzzles and review assignments while I am still out the rest of the week here in Tennessee at this training that starts tomorrow, or as you're watching this, started today. Uh, Thanks all. Talk to you later.